So what if you could completely, and I mean completely, reset your energy in a single day? Well, that's the pretty bold promise of a retreat called Quantum Light. Today, we're going to dig into this really unique event that says it can give you a total energetic transformation. Let's figure out what's really behind this ultimate reset.
Fire, ice, water, and gold. It sounds like something straight out of an ancient alchemy book, right? But these four elements, they're actually the pillars of the quantum light retreat. So how in the world do they all come together to create this ultimate reset they're talking about? Let's break down the journey.
To really get a handle on this, we're going to follow the exact same path the participants do. We'll kick things off with the main idea and its very unique theory of spiritual physics. Then, we'll walk through the three big rituals: purification, rebirth, and encoding, before we get to the big question: does this thing actually work? All right, so let's start with the basics. Beyond this super cool name, what is the Quantum Light Retreat actually promising to do? Okay, so at its core, this retreat is basically designed to be a deep spiritual cleanse. The founder, Master Mei Kai, says it's for people who feel weighed down by energetic baggage, and not just from this life, but maybe even from past ones. The whole point is to completely wipe the slate clean and make room for a brand new version of yourself to show up. And for all this, big spiritual ambition, the event is very much grounded in real-world details. You've got specific dates, a location in Thailand, and really clear pricing. This is where that kind of mystical idea meets logistics, right? It makes an abstract promise feel like a real, tangible thing you can actually go and do. But hold on, before anyone even thinks about jumping into an ice bath, there's a super important briefing. This is where participants get introduced to the theory that holds the whole experience together, and it's a fascinating concept the organizers call spiritual physics. And this is where things get pretty wild. The retreat basically reframes these simple, natural things with this kind of techno-spiritual language. So a better leaf isn't just a leaf. Nope, it's a biofilter. Candlelight, that's a photon laser. It's this amazing mix of ancient ritual and modern, almost sci-fi lingo, with gold as the final superconductor. So with that theory fresh in everyone's minds, the retreat kicks off its first hands-on phase. And it starts with a pretty big shock to the system. This is the purification stage, and it's built on the primal opposing forces of fire and ice. So the approach here is all about duality. It starts on the inside with fire kasina meditation, using the focused heat from a candle to cleanse the chakras. Then it completely flips to an intense external shock, the shock cell, which is an ice bath designed to physically force old energy right out of the body. And when they say intense, they are not kidding. The shock cell is chilled to minus 21 degrees Celsius. I mean, that's colder than a typical freezer you'd have at home. This extreme temperature is specifically designed to cause a really powerful physiological and energetic reaction. Now, pushing your body to an extreme like that obviously means you've got to have a serious focus on safety, and the source material makes it really clear this isn't some reckless endurance test. It's a very structured process. Participants do 3 rounds, and they're under the constant watch of safety teams, making sure that shock is therapeutic, not dangerous. Okay, so after that intense purification process, which is supposed to leave your system empty, the focus shifts from pushing stuff out to healing. This is the rebirth phase, and it uses the much gentler elements of water and crystal to recalibrate everything. This rebirth thing happens in 2 parts. First, it's a gentle immersion, meditating in a holy water bath that's filled with 9 different kinds of flowers. The idea is to soak up all this compassionate energy into your freshly cleansed aura. After that, you get a deep balance massage that uses heat and crystals right along the spine, focusing on waking up the key pituitary and pineal glands. And here's where that mind-body connection gets really explicit. Participants are actually taught to use a specific mental command to direct their own cerebrospinal fluid, the natural fluid that cushions our brain and spinal cord, and push it upward. The goal, they state, is to use this physical fluid as a tool for one last energetic cleansing of the brain itself. All right, so you've been emptied out, then you've been refilled, and now the system is supposedly ready for its new programming. This brings us to the final and maybe the most mystical stage of the whole thing: encoding, where the transformation is locked in with a golden seal. The whole idea behind the encoding process is these things called cosmic key codes. The best way to think of them is like new spiritual software. It's an energetic signature or a new program that's about to be installed onto your freshly reset system. And the protocol itself is incredibly precise. It starts with spinal coding, where these cosmic symbols are energetically written on each vertebra. Then comes the golden seal, where actual physical gold leaf is put on the spine, supposedly to permanently lock in that new code. And finally, a process they call wiring creates one last connection, grounding your energy between heaven and earth. Okay, let's just step back for a second and recap what we've just walked through. What are the big takeaways from this pretty unique quantum light journey? So, what we've really uncovered is this meticulously structured journey that takes you through the elements. It uses this unique spiritual physics idea to mix deep meditation with extreme physical endurance and some really focused energy work. The whole thing builds up to a final encoding, using real gold to literally seal in a new personal program. Which, of course, brings us to the ultimate question at the heart of this whole quantum light experience. The process is, without a doubt, intense, it's symbolic, and it's comprehensive. But could one single day, no matter how profound it feels, truly reset a lifetime's worth of accumulated energy? Whether you see it as a genuine spiritual breakthrough or an incredibly powerful placebo, that promise of a total reset, well, it's a compelling one. And that's it for this explainer.